You're listening to Storage Nerds Podcast, where we unravel the best-kept secret of the real estate investing world, the storage industry. Join the grassroots guru in self-storage, Stacy Rossetti, in insightful discussions about finding, funding, and running these spaces, allowing you to yield the highest returns possible. Get your foot in the door on self-storage and discover how to properly purchase facilities, negotiate with sellers, and close the deal without worries. Start unpacking that investment wisdom with Stacy right now.
Hello. Hi. Welcome. Everybody's coming in. Oh my goodness gracious. All right. How's everybody's days going? I have been like super busy today. Super productive. I love a good productive day. So the Storage Nerds doors are opened as of yesterday. You should have either gotten an email to my calendar or email to the application, or you should have gotten a text message today, sometime today, with the link to the application form. So hopefully you guys, are interested in getting a coach. That's what I do. I coach and teach people how to invest in self-storage. I invest in self-storage, got lots of students that are buying storage facilities and learning how to buy self-storage facilities right now too. So it's super, I'm really excited. And the thing is that like over the course of like the next couple of years, a lot of people are going to struggle. And the truth is I have like no fears at all about where I'm at. Storage has just given me, like, I've been in the real estate industry for like years now, since 2010, 2011, which was like a great time to get in. That was like an awesome time to get in. But the truth is that I was rehabbing homes for a long time, and I just I didn't have any security rehabbing homes. If anybody's rehabbed a home, you can make some money, but there's no security, right? Because the truth is that you just really don't know, when you're going to sell the home. And especially now, luckily I got out of flipping homes in 2017. I actually bought my last house in 2017, and then I sold it in 2019, and flipped it and held on to it for a little bit, and then I flipped it and sold it. And after that, man, I'm telling you, I had such a relief from all the stress of like rehabbing and residential property, because I had gotten into self-storage in 2017 and just started building my portfolio in storage. And just, when I was rehabbing homes, I was like really stressed. If anybody here is a rehabber, let me know. When you're rehabbing a home, you're like high stress. It's very high stress. But and it's not to say that there's no stress in like storage investing, always in real estate, especially. Like, I would say the most stressful part about investing in real estate is going to the closing table, because it's always 11th hour, like the day before you're going to close on a facility. Like, it's just like you're running around like a crazy person. And I know this because I just closed on a storage facility, not last week, but the week before. And it was like that whole week was like completely stressed out, because we were trying to wire the money over and get all the company structured, set up, and like, make sure we're talking to the attorney and get all that done. And everything's always happened, even though you close, even though you put on the date, put on the closing date of the contract, you'll put like 90 days out, right? And like most of the time, the only thing that's happening in that 90 days is you're securing your funding on your end. You're securing your funding. But on the attorney's end, like, they're just running title is what they're doing. So they need that time to run title, because it takes like 3 or 4 or 5 weeks to run title. A lot of times, especially in the commercial world, it takes a long time. But like the attorneys, most of the time, they don't do anything till like the week before. They're like, oh, I got to close on this deal. Like, let me get onto it fast, and then they start doing it. And then all of a sudden you get all these emails and everything. So that's basically what happens, right? And then used one of my attorneys that, I've closed like a ridiculous amount of deals with. And so he knows me and I know him, and I have a cell phone and we just call and talk, and we've like befriended each other. So the good thing is that, I could just call and talk to him whenever I want. But it was 11th hour. So, I know that's one stressful thing in real estate investing. On rehabbing, once you buy a rehab, like, you are always stressed out. Going, like, you're just like, for as soon as you buy that thing, as soon as you put it under contract to closing, and then after you buy it, you're just like stressed out. But the truth is like with storage, maybe the first month or two, like, you're kind of stressed out getting stuff up and running and stuff. But then after that, there's just really not a lot of stress. And so now we have like maybe 12 or 1300 doors. I'm not sure how many doors we have. We have a lot, but so that's kind of stressful. To my husband, I would say that's stressful. Oh, managing a lot of storage facilities and a lot of doors, a lot of square footage. That's kind of stressful. To him, he's getting busier and busier. So when you have one or two facilities, like, it's not that much work. 3, 4. Actually, it really didn't get to be a lot of work until last year, because we acquired, like, I think 4 or 5 properties last year. And that's when everything got really busy for us. And so he's getting super, super busy now. But for the first 4 years of investing, we had like 6, 8 facilities. Like, it was not that busy, up to, like, I would say 600 or 700 units. Like, it's not that busy. So you guys have a long time to be able to, like, build your portfolio, and really learn how to do this and not be stressed out. And then you can decide at 6 or 700 units, do I want to be stressed out, or do I not want to be stressed out? Should I buy more? Should I just be like, okay, I'm cool, this is enough right here, what I got? I'm the type of person that, like, I just, like, I love buying property. I just love it. It's like one of my most, like, the acquiring process and the closing process. I just love that whole, like, the feeling of it. So for me, I always want to do that, and the selling process. I love the selling, the closing, the buying, and the selling. That's what I love. All the stuff in the middle, I really delegate all that out anyways, but that's kind of my thing. So anyway, so welcome tonight, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with me. Please introduce yourself in the chat. Let everybody know who you are, where you're at, what you're looking for. As I go through the process today, I'm going to talk about my next storage facility that I purchased. And this one is one that I actually got owner finance to me. I'm going to talk about how we got the owner to owner finance. Oh, actually, no, this one, I can't remember if I got this one owner finance. I'll look it up and I'll see, but it doesn't matter. Anyways, I'll show you how I got the money for it. So we'll go through, how did I find it? How did I fund it? And how are we running it right now? And then we'll go through the deal analyzer. So really, the purpose of the last, couple of Monday nights all the way through, I think, until the end of September. I can't remember when we finished these up, but I'm going through all 12 of our facilities that we own. How do we find them? How do we fund them? How do we run them? And showing you what we did, showing you what we did. And then also on top of that is I'm taking the numbers and I'm putting them into our new deal analyzer. The deal analyzer that I'm going to present to you tonight is for my students only. Right. So if you become a storage nerd and you join Storage Nerds over the course of the next couple of days, then you will get access to this deal analyzer. So because a couple of people have emailed and said, hey, how do I get access to the deal analyzer? You have to be a student, right, in Storage Nerds. So make sure that you get on my calendar, because the doors are open from now until the next couple of weeks. And I see a couple of people just joined. A lot of people have just got on my calendar. And I do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday calls. I'm already completely booked Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. A couple of more availability for Thursday. And then on Sunday of next week, or Saturday or Sunday of next week, I open my calendar up again for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. And then that's it. I close my doors. All right. And whoever wants to join can meet up, talk to me, and we can go over whether or not it's a good fit. And I only take 20 people. Typically, I take around 20 people because, 20 people require a lot of time, but you have to remember that I also have so much so many other students as well too. And then I have my team as well. So I try to only take so many people because I only have so much time. And I'm the one that really coaches and does everything. So in my coaching program, I'm the one that coaches, right? So this is not a coaching program that you get in and then you can meet all of my other coaches and stuff. Like, I just don't do that because I want you guys to succeed, and I want to work with you. And that's what I love, because I'm a teacher. That's really what I want to do. So just letting you know the doors are open. Okay, so now we're going to get into my next storage facility. So for everybody that is new, and I saw a whole bunch of people say hi, so I appreciate that. Wayne and Brady and Steve said hi to me. So if you want to say hi, I appreciate it. Yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about the next facility that I have. I want to show you this facility. You can go to misslillians.com. All right, and you can check out all my facilities. I say this quite often, but I just want to let y'all know that you can check them out. For everybody that doesn't know me, I buy facilities that are typically, up until this last facility that we just bought, I buy facilities that were $1 million or less. Okay, and I typically focus, honestly, really, I focus on smaller facilities that are between like 50 and 150 units, and that were severely mismanaged. Okay, so when I say severely mismanaged, essentially weren't getting the income that they should have been getting. They probably just weren't taken care of as well too. All right, so they just didn't look nice as well. But mismanaged typically means that they weren't getting the income that they were supposed to, or they were like not full as well too. Mismanaged means that they're not full. So vacancy rate is very, very important when you're looking at a facility. Now, this particular facility that I bought was full when I bought it. So I'm going to tell you about this one and how I found this. So this is Miss Lillian Self-Storage is the name of our storage facility. And you could just go here and kind of look at all the facilities that we have. But essentially, this one is Franklin. Maybe it's not, like, it looks like a storage facility, right? So here's our storage facility here. So I can actually show you what it looks like. This building right here, this is like one big, huge room. That's like, I think, a 10 by 30. We rent this out to somebody. And then over here, I think, is some smaller ones that no, actually, this is a 10 by 40. I'll see if we can look and see what it is. Actually, I can't remember anymore. And maybe these over here are 10 by 30. So this is one big, huge, like, I think it's like 3 or 4 different units, but they're like bigger units. Okay. And the owner, when I talked to the owner, he was like, yeah, it's like, actually, I built this building so I could put all my stuff in it. That's what I built it for, so I could have big storage facility. But then after a while, I moved it over to my barn, and then I started, renting this out. So, but this is kind of what it looks like. The funniest thing about this owner, okay, so essentially the way that I found this storage facility is, am I sharing my screen? I want to make sure I'm sharing. I'm not sharing. Okay, wait. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know that. Okay, so this is the storage facility, misslillians.com. And so this is what it looks like. It looks like a storage facility, all right? It's got gravel, and that's a unit. That's a 10 by 10. Maybe, I'm not sure. It looks like a 10 by 10. Look, these over here look like 10 by 5 by 10s. These are probably 10 by 10s or maybe 10 by 20s. Because sometimes you can take the middle out or you put the middle in. And this is the big building that I was telling you about. Like over here, this is a huge, big, massive space that we're renting out. And then there's 2 or 3 like 10 by 30s. I'll show you in storage as well too, okay? So I just wanted to show you can come to Miss Lillian's, and then you can click on Georgia and then go to Franklin if you wanted to look at the pictures or whatever. But this is our website as well too, so you could take a look at it. This website, I told y'all last week, was created by Guy, who's our marketing coach for Storage Nerds. You'll be able to meet him. He does everybody's website for all the students. We recommend him. He comes in and teaches as well. So now when you come to our website and you see get pricing, typically this means that it's full. right? So what I wanted to show y'all is what it looks like inside storage as well too. And then here's the map. So let's click on this and see if we can maybe, you can zoom out so you can see where it's at. So there's Franklin. That's the one that we have. And this is where Atlanta is. So you see here, this is kind of how far it is. So this would be considered like a tertiary market, I would say. Now, if we go to Google Maps, and we search, Miss Lillian's on Google Maps. Let's see if it pops up. I'm not sure. Lillian's self-storage, see locations. Okay. Yeah, so there it is. So this is this one. So this is Fayetteville, Fayetteville, Fairburn. This one is Noonan. And then this is Franklin. Okay, so that's kind of how it looks. Now, remember I told you all last week that most likely we're going to end up selling these 4 facilities as a portfolio. And so that's really our goal for the end of this year, is to get these all ready so that we can sell them. And so I bought Fayetteville first, and then I started driving. Remember, I started driving for storage, and this whole area, every single facility that I found, except for the one that I just bought right up here where we're at, is I found through driving for storage, except for one. Actually, one of my students found. But so I started really just driving this whole area. I talked to every single storage facility owner in like all of the South Atlanta area, and these are the ones that I picked up by doing that. So how did I find this facility? I found this facility driving for storage and talking to the owners directly. That's how I found them. So everybody always asks me how did I find it? I just drive around, I Google Maps, and I search storage near me. And then I call and I talk to the owners. I mean, I either call or I drive over. So let's do storage in this area. Let's see if we can search this area. And I just get into Google Maps. Yeah, some of them come up. So here's Grayson storage, Noonan self-storage. If we get into Franklin, let's see what it looks like. Franklin's best self-storage. Okay. Franklin has a like a small population. It's not very big, honestly. What's the population of Franklin? Franklin, Georgia population. It's 1,000 people. It's been steady, kind of just steady going along. Now, if you do a 25-mile radius of Franklin, there's about 25,000 people. I know this because we looked up the research and knew this. If you want to really know how to do that, we just use Radius Plus. I'm not going to get in there and show you, but if you want to look up the radius, the demographics of a radius for storage, then just use Radius Plus. That's what we use. And but we've already done this, and it costs money to do that. So just FYI, it's not free. But so what we already know, we know all the owners. There's 3 storage facilities in town, and we all know each other. We're all investors. And one of the storage facility owners in town is one of the partners in Store Smart, which is the insurance. It's the insurance company. Yeah. Anyway, so that's how I know him. It's because I know him in the industry. So really nice guy. And so I went driving for storage, and I just was driving around, just going and looking for storage. Because I talked to G&G, talked to all these people, and I just happened to come across this one right here. And so I was driving down this road right here, and I was literally just coming into town, and I saw this storage facility. It's kind of up on a hill, and I was like, oh, there's a storage facility. So I couldn't like park in front of the stores because this kind of goes up into a hill is what it is. So I didn't really come in and park, and there's a gate, and stuff. So I was like, so I drove past it. Actually, there's the sign. This is our sign that we have our phone number on. I saw it. It said like, I can't remember what it was called. It's like Franklin Self Storage, I think is what it's from, something. And I called the number as I was driving down. I literally called it as I was passing. And then the owner answered the phone and he said, "Hey, it's Franklin Self Storage." I can't remember what the name is. And I was like, "Hey," I was like, "Yeah, this is Stacy." I was like, "I called about your storage facility." And he's like, "Oh, yeah." He's like, "Are you looking for a unit?" And I was like, "No, no, no, no. I'm interested in buying your storage facility. Like, would you be interested in selling? I have a couple others in the area and I'm just calling all the owners. I'm actually in front of your storage. I'm driving past your storage facility now. So I just wanted to call and see if you were interested in selling." And he was like, "Oh yeah, where are you?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm like, I just passed it. I'm coming into town now." He's like, "Hey, why don't you turn around? Just come on back over here." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I just like turned my car around. I literally just came, I had just made it like just down into town, like maybe somewhere in this area. So I turned around and I drove back. And and the owner's name was Talmadge, which I love this name. It's like the best name ever. But his name was Talmadge. And I drove in, he came in, let me in the gate, put the code in. And I drove over and I parked right over here. And I was like, "Hi." He's like, "Hey." He's like, "Who are you?" And I said, "I'm Stacy." He's like, "Oh, I'm Talmadge." I was like, "Oh, nice to meet you." I was like, "Yeah, I own like one in Noonan. I own one over here in Fairburn. I own another one in Fayetteville. It's like, I'm just trying to pick up a couple more." And he was like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I am interested in selling, actually. I am interested." I was like, "Man, perfect timing. Like, let's like, can you have time to talk?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Come into my office." And this little thing right here is his office right here, this thing. And a little tiny one of those little tiny sheds you can pick up like Home Depot, where I was like, I'll be putting my tools and stuff in. This was his office. And he had like a desk and he had an AC that he had put in. And then he also had like a little heater just in case it got cold in the winter. And he worked. This is where he worked. And he was like, "Come on into my office." So I sat down at his desk and I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "So, tell me about, tell me the story about this place. Tell me a little about it." And he said, "Yeah. So, I built this facility like in the 90s. It's like I actually built this road right here first." And he's like, "And then when I got enough money, I started adding more roads and stuff." And I was like, "Really cool." I was like, "So where do you live?" And he was like, "I live right here. This is his house right here. This is his house." He's like, "I live right here. So I picked up this property. I picked up this property. So I own like all this little area." And I was like, "Oh, wow, cool." I was like, "So you want to, are you interested in selling?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm interested in this is his little barn right here." And I said, "So, okay, cool. So tell me a little about this." And so I said, "Let's go for a walk and you can tell me about it and show me kind of what how you did it and everything." So he, we walked around, we looked at all the units. He told me all the different sizes and everything. And this is the funniest thing, is like when he first started, he decided that he wanted his numbers to not be numbers. He wanted his numbers to be Roman numerals. So on the door of every single one of his doors was a Roman numeral. It was like, that's how he did it. So it was like Roman numeral 1, and then he had like X 111, XX 111. That's how he's like, I was like, "What are those?" I was like, "Are those Roman numerals?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I decided to do Roman numerals for my numbers." So I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy." I was like, "Really?" I was like, "Do the tenants get like just like confused about that?" He said, "Yeah, they do." He's like, "I should have never done the Roman numerals." I was like, "That's funny. Oh my gosh." I said, "That is so funny." He's like, "Yeah." And so he showed me big building. He showed me the two ones that are over here. There's another one on the edge. So he kind of showed me around. And I said, "Okay, well, I was like, I'm very interested in buying this." I was like, "I've got cash. I can close now. Let's do it. Like, let's sit down and figure this out." So we went back into his office and we sat down and I said, can you show me the numbers? Like, what are you making on this?" And so he opened up his drawer and he pulled out like a yellow notepad And then he started writing down, he's got like 5x10s, 25, or whatever it was. I don't know, 10x10s, 25, or whatever it was. I can't remember because it's a total of 60 units. So it wasn't a lot. But he wrote down all the units and the price that he charges. And he said, this is my list of my units, my sizes, and this is my my prices that I give. And I was like, oh, really? Okay. Now I already knew that, like, I mean, I knew that, 50 units, or I'm sorry, 60 units is roughly, I always say like 60 units, 600 grand, give or take, maybe a little bit or less depending on the market and stuff. But that's kind of how I run the numbers. Now it could be way more depending on where you're at and stuff. But I always think like 60 units, 600. I was like, okay, so it's like, what do you like? Do you have a number in mind, or like, what are you thinking about this facility? And, and I still needed to go back and run numbers and everything. But I was like, so what do you think about this facility? Like, what price do you have? Do you have a price in mind, or do you want me to run numbers and give you an offer? He was like, no, I have a price in mind. And I said, okay, what is it? I'm ready. Tell me. And he said, $189,000. And I said, $189,000. And I was like, I tried not to, and he's 100% full on this thing. It's 100% full. And he said, I said, have you ever done any auctions? He said, yeah. He's like, I've done a couple of auctions. Like this one guy I had to auction off and stuff or whatever. And he says, but like typically I don't have to do a lot of auctions. Or really it's like, it's a small town, everybody knows each other and this kind of thing, right? So, but I said $189. I just started like choking. I was trying not to choke or whatever, but I was like, I already knew that it was a good deal. I mean, even if it was 400 or 500 grand worth, it'd be a good deal, right? So I was like, I think that could possibly be doable, but I'm not 100% sure like what, if I need to talk to my husband and my money guy just to make sure that I can get that, is that okay? And he said, yeah, just let me know, just think about it and let me know. And I said, okay. So I got his information, and I got, and I left and I went back. So we'll run the numbers on it and stuff too, but I already knew it was a good deal anyways. So I went back, I went back home. I told my husband, I was like, we're going to buy this like storage facility. And he was like, great, another one, which is a typical answer from Pete anyways. I told my lender as well too. I had a lender that I was in the process of like finishing up a rehab, and it just happened to be like around 200 grand or something, or 300 grand. I can't remember. And I was like, hey, I'm picking up a storage facility. Can we just roll the money over? We're selling yours. He's like, yeah, that's fine. So it's like super easy. Like I already had the lender to roll the money over from a rehab that we were doing. So essentially I picked this up with private money, right? Is what I did. And I'll show you the numbers on it, and we'll run the numbers on the new deal analyzer and see what it looks like. And and my private lenders, they typically give me anywhere from like 8 to 10%. Now I could have gone out and just got a loan on, I could go out and get a loan on the deal as well too, but like I like to close as fast as I possibly can, right? So essentially when I was talking to Talmadge, I just said like, I'm pretty sure I could have that money here in the next week or two. Like, when do you want to close? He said, yeah, we can close in like 30 days if you want. So he's like, close at the end of the month. He's like, I'm ready to sell. Like, if you're ready, if you want to buy it, I'm ready to sell. Like, he was ready to sell. So I said, I think that's doable, because I'm actually closing on another property and I need to roll that money over to like a new one. So let me just make sure that it all works out good. But I think that should be fine. So yeah, so I went back, I talked to the lender, I talked to my lender, I talked to my husband, they both said fine. And we'll run the numbers on it now and see what the numbers look like. I'm going to show you storage as well too, so you have an idea of what it looks like. And then I came back the next day. I came back either the next day or the day after, I'm not sure. And I called him up. He doesn't have email. He didn't have a computer. He had no computer, no email, nothing. He had no way to show me any income or anything. So essentially I got no numbers, nothing from this person. In fact, every facility that I've ever bought, except for the last one, I've never gotten any numbers or any rent roll or anything from any of them. Okay. So, so I just go off of like essentially what I possibly could be making, that's what I go off of. And I just want to, I just want to make sure that I don't, come out of pocket too much on the front end. Now, I'm okay personally myself, I'm okay with coming out of pocket. And I say this a lot, quite often, that I'm okay with coming out of pocket. Now, ask my husband. My husband doesn't want to come out of pocket because he's actually he's the operations manager of the business, right? So he wants to get money up front. He wants to have CapEx up front. He wants to have money to do things. But what I'll do essentially is I'll take, like, these 4 facilities that you saw, one of them or 2 of them could be like, I'll buy it and it's not producing income, but within, like, 6 months it's starting to produce income. So then I say, okay, now I'm making an extra $1, $2, $3, $4, $5,000 a month. That is going to offset the next facility that I'm going to buy, right? So essentially I had Fayetteville, and we were making probably like $5,000 a month on that. I had Fairburn, and we were probably making, netting probably maybe $2,000 a month. And I had Noonan, and we were netting like maybe, $2,000 a month. So I was like, okay, like, we know that we have at least a little bit of money left over. We can afford to buy another facility if we need to ever come out of pocket on anything, right? So we kind of like offset one facility with the other facility. And in the beginning, maybe it's a little tight, but after, like, 3 or 6 months, like, you're cash flow very well. Okay. And I always shoot for like a 10% cash on cash return or more, right? Now pretty much, now I don't put any money into my deals. I'm 100% privately funded, pretty much, I would say. I put a little bit of tiny money into all the deals that I've done. But when you don't put any money into any deal, your cash on cash return is like ridiculous, right? You're making money off of like not putting any money into the deal. Now, if you're somebody that you're not going to go out and find a private lender to lend you money, then you want to stick to like 10% cash on cash return or more. Okay. So, but the truth is that you really should be learning how to raise money, because raising money is what's going to be able to get you to have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 deals like us, right? But if you don't learn how to raise money, then a bank is only going to take you so far and leverage you so far. So it's okay to not raise money for like maybe the first 1 or 2 deals, but you should really be partnering, using other people's money, raising money, especially in the commercial real estate world, because commercial real estate is expensive. It's just expensive. So you have to learn how to raise money. Anyways, so, and I had just, I've been raising money since 2010. So for me, not, taking something from a rehab and rolling it into a storage facility was not a big deal for me. Okay. And then also I want to say, oh yeah, so I went back and I took the contract and we signed the contract. And at that time when I met him, I also got to be his wife. And I can't remember what I think it was like Beatrice or something like that, but I can't remember what her name was, but I do remember Talmadge. But I remember that she told me when we signed the contract in his office, again, the next couple of days, that she told me, she was like, I am so glad that he is finally selling this place. And I was like, really? I was like, why? And she's like, he works every day, 7 days a week. He comes into his office and he works all day long. Like, he never ever stays at home and does, like, now he can do all the housework. Now he can be like the honey do this and honey do that. And I was like, really? Like, he comes into the office and he works at the storage facility all the time. She's like, he's always at the storage facility working, always. Like, it's so hard for me to get him done and to do anything because he's working so much. And I was just thinking to myself, what the hell is he doing like every day, all day at the storage facility? Because this like 60-unit facility should take like an hour or 2 hours a week. That's it, But I'm thinking that maybe he like came over to his office and he was like hiding out from his wife, pretend like he was working and stuff all day. But she said he would get up every morning and come to the office and then like come home at dinner time, never seemed to work. So I don't know what the hell he was doing all the time, but that's a lot of hours at this place for just something that should only take like 2 hours a week. Anyway, so I guess he was like, maybe he must have been doing the yard work. Maybe if he was doing the yard work, but that's still like only like 1 day a week or something. And there's really not a lot of yard stuff there. So I don't know what he was doing. But anyway, she was like, I'm so excited that she's actually finally selling this so he can come over and help me, because he never helps me at the house. That's what she said. And then at the closing table, I was like, congratulations, like, and now you just, you made enough money to go and do, to do some retirement stuff. I was like, what are you going to do? Are you going to celebrate tonight? And Talmadge was like, yes, we're going out and we're celebrating. I was like, awesome. What are y'all going to do? And he said, we're going to Longhorn and we're going to have a steak. And I was like, oh, really? That sounds awesome. Like, just going along. That was like their celebration now, is like go Longhorn, have like a big steak. And she's like, we're going on a date. We haven't been on a date in so long. He's finally taking me on a date. We're going to go to Longhorn and we're going to have a steak. So Longhorn was like in Noonan, right? So like that was like maybe 30 minutes away, maybe 20, 30 minutes away. So they ventured out of Franklin to go have a steak and celebrate. So they were just the cutest couple. They were the cutest couple. Okay, all right. So let me share my screen with you, and I'm going to actually first, I'm going to show you storage. Okay, so now you got to see this. And so now I wanted to show you storage. Okay, so we're in storage now, if you guys have not ever seen this before. And storage, and every time I come, I don't get into storage very often, because like this is not what I do, right? I'm find them and fund them. I'm not running them. And my husband runs them with his team. But I wanted to just kind of show you the interface so you could see what it looks like as well. And then we can get in and see the number. So you could see that we have 49 tenants. It's 95% occupied, and there's 3 that are unrentable right now. Okay, so that looks like there's maybe, I don't know what sizes are unrentable, but there's 3 that are unrentable. Like maybe the door, or maybe there's a latch that's broke or something or whatever. And then you see 11% are past due. So 49, 3 are past due. So we have this many tenants. And also another thing that you could see that I really like about storage is you could see how long people have been there, right? And the one thing I love about tertiary market is that people stay. Even when you raise the rents, they still stay. You can see here that we've got some newbies that have come in, right? Because you always have like a certain percentage that's like in and out of, in a couple of months or so. All right. And then we have some that are like, been there 6 to 12 months. And then we have some that are 1 to 2 years. And then the 2+ years, 19 have been with us. We have had this facility for like at least 3 or 4, like 3 years. It must be 3 years. I think we've had this facility. So we have 19 of them that have stuck with us since the beginning, which is really cool to see. And all storage facilities that are really, tertiary markets, you have tenants that stay quite long times with you, which I love. And then secondary market, that gets less and less, right? And then primary market is just like turning and burning is what it is. Like you can't, like people don't want to be paying $200-300 a month on especially going into the next couple of years, right? So I just wanted to show that to you and kind of show you what it looks like. And then I was hoping to try to figure out if I don't know how to do this, but I was hoping to see like where I could see the prices of what they charge stuff, but I'm not 100% sure where I could see that at. I totally forgot how to use storage. And actually my husband, he comes on and teaches, he teaches here on the Monday night sessions, like storage stuff. And then also definitely a lot in the coaching program. He comes in and teach quite often. And also another thing I was going to say too is that the boot camp, that when you join Storage Nerds, the boot camp is September 24th and 25th. And this time around, my husband's teaching. So it's all running the facility and managing the facility. I teach Find Them, Fund Them. I did that in May. And then my husband is teaching in September, Run Them. So he's going to get in and show you really how to utilize this, because it's like a super powerful software. Let me see. Yeah, here's units. Okay, let's see if we can figure this out. Okay, now I'm getting somewhere. Okay, so here's the facility map. So you can kind of see this is what you have to draw when you get into when you get into it, so you can see the units. The red ones are the ones that are late, and the blue ones are all paid up. These are the 5x10s right here, and these look kind of like bigger ones here. So we can see, yeah, here's that big one I was telling you about. And let me see if I can click on like what's the size. And doesn't say the prices on these. I was hoping to say, you can see that there's like notes and stuff in here as well too. You know, whenever one of our people on the phone talks or whatever, so talks to them and stuff. So units, groups, no, individual. Okay, yeah, here you go. Okay, so so now we got it. Now 5x10s are 65, 10x10s are 85, and 10x15s are 125. I'm going to write this down so I don't forget. Actually, no, we'll pull this up. We'll put this into the deal analysis. That's what I was trying to look at, is what are they charging? The 800 square foot one is the big one. He's charging 400. So we'll work on filling out the deal analyzer. Okay, so here's the deal analyzer. We're going to get into competition. Okay. Oh, no, sorry, not competition. We're going to get into unit mix, and we'll do 5x10s. What did he? I'm going to just share my screen only on the deal analyzer now, so that y'all could see it. But I'll be going back and forth and putting the unit mix in, so that y'all could just kind of see how I do it. Okay. And let me see, share screen and deal analyzer. Okay. So the 5x10s are 65, and there's 12 of those. So 12 5x10s. Okay, so we're going to put 12 here. Oops, 12. Okay, and then there's 32. Oh wait, no, that's not right. Yeah, 32, 85, 5x10s, 85. Okay, 32 here. And then 10x15s, we have 9 that are 125. Let's change the price here. So it's 65, 85, 125. And then 10x20s are 165. That's so expensive. I can't believe we're full. Isn't that crazy? How many do we have? Market, we just raised the rates on all of our stuff, and it's just like, you know, the prices are just nuts. 10x20s, we have 2 of those. Okay. And so just bear with me. It takes a little while to do this, but at least y'all can see how it's done. You know what I'm saying? You guys will all be able to analyze deals. After the next 10 weeks, everybody will be able to analyze deals. You just have to have a deal analyzer. Now, the course has a deal analyzer in it, but it's not the one that you see. It's a different one, but you can still use it. Let me see. 10x15s, we have, I'm sorry, 12x15, 1. And I'm going to put this in here. 12x15s, 1 is 148. So now we're going to do 12x15s. And that way we can get the, what's a 12x15 size? We can get the unit, the square footage is what I'm trying to show y'all, okay? Let's see, that is 12x15 is 180 square feet. And it's 148. We've got one of those. Okay. And then we've got one more. 15x21 is 250. 15x21 is 250 square feet. We've got, sorry, that's not right. It's 315 square feet. And we've got one of those, and it's 215. And then we've got one more. It's 800 square feet. It's a 20x40. That's the big one. 20 by 40. Oops. That's 800 square feet. And that one is one of them, and there's 400. Okay. So now we've got the square footage here now. So we've got 58 units, and it's 68.45. I'm going to make this bigger for y'all. Sorry. I should have made that bigger in the first place. But yeah, so it's so you can see here's the units. You see You can come in on the deal analyzer, you can put, outside access. We don't need to do that. What we need to do is we need to know the total square footage, and we need a total number of units. So now we know that we have 58 units and it's 6845, and he should be making $5,700 a month based on the current income. Okay, so I just totally forgot what it is. I need somebody here to tell me these things. Okay, so 58 and 6845. Okay, so now we have 58 units, 6845. Okay, we're 95% full, so we're 5% vacant. And I don't know what cap rate we should give this. Let's just say a 7 cap. And then we're making, we're 95% full, so it's really 5785. What was it? 5785? 5718 times 12. Let's do that and calculate it up. So 5718 times 12, 6816. So I'm going to just put like, oops, wrong one. 68. Just message me if y'all have questions or you can't see something. I'm trying to stay on the deal analyzer. Okay. Let's just do 6,800, just because we have that vacancy and stuff. Okay. And let's do, we did not, the reason I changed this to this one right here to 1% is because I did not use a realtor to close. So closing costs include realtor fees on our deal analyzer. And so if you don't have realtor fees, then you just take those out. Okay. So now we're at 87 cents a square foot. Can we raise rates? Actually, we're cheaper than our neighbors. Our neighbors are like, I would say maybe at 89, like 90 cents a square foot, He's really pushing those numbers. I'm not gonna, we won't get into getting into the competition, but we're almost right at the same price. We're a little bit cheaper than our competition. His name is Trey. That's kind of how I know it. Now, in order to find competition right now, you would basically list out your competitors. Actually, we could just, real fast do that. Hang on. Let's see if we can figure out Franklin's storage facility here. Storage, search this area, not this area. That's us. Let's see where else. Let's go to this terrain here. Nearby storage. That's how we find our competition, is we just click storage and search. Okay, so Franklin's best storage. I'm pretty sure it's Franklin's best storage. Let's see, do they have a website? Yeah, Franklin's best storage. Okay, yeah, so Franklin's, but yeah, they've got 2 locations. See, there's 3 of us in town. So they got the 2. And they're using, I like to go down and see, they're using, they're using the same, see the same storable as us. Well, actually it shouldn't, because anyways, let's see what the price is. Let's just go to P Ridge. It doesn't matter. And just to say, oh yeah, so here they go. 10 by 10s are 99. 10 by 10s are 99 is what they're charging. Our 10 by 10 is, I think, let me see. Yeah, our 10 by 10 is, what did I charge? I just Googled, all I did was just so everybody knows, I just Googled like storage near us is what I did. I looked at the guy. I know there's 2 other ones, so I'm just looking at his price. That's what I'm doing to see. Okay. Let me pull up the deal analyzer again. And he's doing 99 for a 10 by 10. And we're doing 85. See, I told you, man. He's doing $99 for a 10 by 10. Tell my husband he needs to raise the rents. Isn't that crazy? And let's see, what is he doing for, I'll share the screen in just a minute. What's he doing for, 5 by 10s, he's doing 79. And isn't it so much fun just looking at this, trying to figure it all out? $79 for 5 by 10s, non-climate controlled. See, they have both of theirs on here. So we can just go with the cheapest, 74. And then for 10 by 20s, 179 is what they have. So 179, 74. So let's go. Now we're going to stop share. I'm going to get into the deal analyzer. We're just going to change. Look, see, we're doing 65 and he's doing 74. And then he's doing for 10 by 20s, 179. We're not even at the same price as him. And he's probably full too, I'm guessing. So we need to be increasing our rents. All right, so now you can see, so I didn't change the other prices for us because, I just kept it at what we have. So now you can see we're at 92 cents. We're at 83 cents a square foot. Right now we should be at 92 cents. So I was like, right, yeah, I put 90 cents. So we should be at 92 cents. All right. Now let's try to figure out, I bought this for 189. Let's see if we can figure this out. Let's see. How much is it? What does it look like? 189. 189. 189. 189. Okay, yeah. And so then I bought it at interest only. We put 0% down and I got it at 8% interest. And I got a 5-year over 5-year. So there it is. Yeah. So I'm paying about $12.60 a month. So this is our numbers here. So 189 is the purchase price. As you can see, 189 is a 25% cash on cash return. If we own or financed it, we would be at 20% down, right? And the 5% interest, we'd be at 90% cash on cash return. All right, but we actually just borrowed private money. So we're at 180. So 189 at 8% interest for 5 years is what we did. And we're at a 893% cash on cash return and a 49% or 50% actual net after the mortgage, right? So so that's basically what that looks like. So we'll get into the deal analyzer and look. I think I saw a couple of different. Yeah, I see David saying, can't tell your prices are a little low, seeing you're at 95% capacity. Exactly, right? So should we raise the rents? If we're at 95% capacity and you saw our neighbors, our prices, that means we should be raising the rents, right? So Pete's like, and then Pete is like, we just raised the rents. Like we did just raise the rents. Like I think in May we raised the rent. So should we raise them more now? Like how often do you raise rents? You can piss everybody off, right? You don't want to do that either. So, but every 6 months, I think, especially nowadays with the market, like you should be raising rents like every 6 months to what the market is. Like some people, like back in the day, you would hear like raise the rents like 5% is what 5 or 6% every 6 to 9 months. But nowadays it's like, what is fair market value? Like if fair market value is like way higher than 5 or 6%, you should be like raising your rates to that. So that's kind of how we look at it. I mean, Thomas is saying economic rent versus physical rent. It's like we're 95% full, so we should be raising the rents, but we can't raise the rents now, can we? What would y'all do? Raise the now or wait until because we literally just raised the rents. And so that's kind of the thing that we look at. Now, oh yeah, so and then Mark is asking about the cap rate. All right, so let me go back to my deal analyzer. So I put a 7 cap for this deal analyzer. That's what I put the market cap rate for. I mean, essentially, like Franklin would be, I don't know if Franklin would be tertiary or Franklin would be secondary. Now, when we sell our facility, when we sell our facilities, we're going to sell all 4 of them together. So as you see, when I showed y'all Miss Lillian self-storage and Miss Lillian self-storage on Google Maps, and we have those 4 facilities together, and it's going to be a portfolio. So I'm guessing this portfolio is probably going to be even less than a 7 cap. It's probably going to be like a 6.5 or 6 cap maybe, because it's a portfolio and portfolios go for like higher prices. And the reason I know that is because I see it in the market. Right. And I have students that, are doing this as well too. So these 4 right here, I'm going to sell as a portfolio. And I'm guessing I could probably for all 4 of these get at least a 6 cap. All right. So that's one thing that you have to keep in mind. If you have just one of them, like if I just sold Franklin by itself, I would probably get like a 7 cap, something like this. Right. But since I'm going to sell, especially these 2, and especially this one, because this is really considered a secondary market. These would be considered primary markets. I really feel like these probably are even worth like probably even a 5 cap right now, between 5 and I would say 5 cap, maybe 5.5 or 6, 5.75 maybe. I mean, they're right in the suburb of the prime of like Atlanta, so like, but they're gonna have to like kind of figure it all out together is what they're gonna have to figure out. So it's gonna be interesting to see what they say. But yeah, so I ran this at a 7 cap, as you can see, $68,000. It's valued at right now a $690,000. All right. And we're right at about it's valued at about $700,000. And we picked this up for $189,000. So you even see our debt service ratio, I mean, is like super high. I mean, it's a very, very good lucrative deal. We're gonna make some money on it. I'm really excited about it. And the cash flow, you could see here the cash flow as is around like, if we went to a bank, it would be probably anywhere from 60 to 90% cash on cash return. So, and that's just me driving around and talking to owners. I mean, that's the thing, is a lot of people are like, oh my God, I got to drive around and talk to owners. Well, do you want really good deals like this? Then you should be like out talking to owners, right? And if you want if you want to have okay deals, then cold call. That's what we do. We cold call, and we get like, when we're cold calling, we get good deals, right? We find like really good deals. But I'm telling you, driving and talking to owners, you get like amazing deals. All right. So okay, so that's find them, fund them, run them. So now we use storage to run them. My husband's going to be teaching in the boot camp in September, so he'll really get into that. So hopefully everybody joins and is able to come to that. And I think that's really it. Yeah, cap rates. Any other final questions? Okay, so David is saying, I think in rural areas people have more space to store their stuff. If you tick them off by raising rates too fast, I think you can be much more aggressive in more densely populated areas, probably raise in 6 months. Exactly. That's exactly what we think. And actually we've been like, over the course of the last couple of years, ours is like every 6 months we're raising rents. And then how much do we raise rents to? Fair market value. What is the market calling for? Right? What's the market calling for? And so that's kind of how we're doing it. Now I'm guessing the competition, Troy, he I know him, and I know he's aggressive. Like, he's just like, let me just try and see. I'm just a push the numbers kind of a person, and he just bought those facilities. In like maybe 3 months ago, and he just paid cash for them, is what he did too as well. So he's just like, let me just push the rates. I got to get all this cash back that I put into it. Okay. All right. So that's it. So see what else. So when you buy the facility, it was around a 10 cap. Yeah, exactly. So look at this. So let me look at the deal analyzer and see what it says, because I don't know. Yeah, so yeah, I'm sorry. When I bought the facility, it was I guess it must have been, well, no, it was making, it's running at a 25% cap rate. That's crazy. And that's actually, it wasn't making that much. Let's put the numbers. It was probably making like half of that. I'm guessing it was probably full, but only making like half, or not. Maybe not half. Maybe let's say he was making like 40 grand. Let's just do that. Yeah, so that's coming out to 11 cap is what it's coming out to. So even when I bought it at 189, it was still $100,000, in over for the value. So yeah, I'm guessing it was probably making around 40,000, and now it's making 68,000. Right? So that's a good looking deal analyzer right there, isn't it? Okay. All right. Again, I'm going to go. So now what I'm going to do is hop on my pitch for the fund. So if you don't know, I have a 506c Reg D fund. And so you've got to, if you want to invest passively, then come hang out with me. It's stacyrossetti.com/fund. I always pitch that right after this, right after this session. Okay. And for everybody else, hopefully I'll see you over the course of the next week, or week. The last day that the doors are open, September 8th, is when I'm taking calls, right? So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week, and then that's it. We're not opening the doors again until 2023. All right. Okay. All right. Take care, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Storage Nerds. Hope this informative conversation inspired you to go out there and jump into this highly profitable business venture that people rarely talk about. Get more tips on storage space investing at www.stacyrossetti.com. Don't forget to subscribe to the show and leave a rating. Together, let's build that thriving passive income one storage space at a time. Until next time.